Welcome to the seventh race of the season in Formula Trout F3 series. We're here today at sunny Laguna Seca with an air temp of 18 degrees and a track temp of 24 degrees. I am here today with who is a little shy. We're here for the seventh race, as I said, and so far Ormaris has been pulling away in a very spectacular manner so far this season. Personally, I think we will see him pulling away even further today. What do you think, Wolf?
Yeah, I think so too. Done a solid few races the last few times. Speaking from experience in the Formula One leagues as well.
Yeah, so we're just off here in qualifying. We'll just see the first few cars on their outlap. So what want to mention here is Oscar is back for his first race of the season. So he's back in a long time. I remember him being very fast back in the day, so hopefully he'll be back in the top fighting again. We also have a special announcement of Paul Magsire, who is disqualified from further racing in the Formula 3 league due to some crashing. So there's one less contender for the podium positions and the crown of the league. What do you say, Wolf? Any predictions for today?
I think it's gonna be a really close race up in the front. Gonna see some solid racing in the midfield as well.
Yeah, it's something I personally love with this league myself, is how close the racing is overall in the whole field. Really not big gaps anywhere.
And especially with the overtaking possibilities in the corkscrew, if you make a small fault there, then you're gonna have your exit compromised.
Yeah, we have both the corkscrew. The corkscrew is really difficult, but after the following corners, and I know this last corner myself can be a bit tricky. Overall, of course, this track is very tricky. It's very hilly, and exit speed is very important. So you make a small mistake locking up into corners, you will be toast. I'm trying to see here if we can get on board. I'm having some struggles myself, but I want to get on board with one of the guys, see how they are doing. As I do believe they're coming around to set their first laps here soon.
Oscar Williams coming in with a lap time of 1:44. The predictions are the quali lap is going to be around a 1:12.7. So maybe running on a bit more fuel, maybe made a small mistake.
Yeah, probably just some slight warming up here still. We'll see them putting in faster and faster laps. It do look like the track grip is it's not fully rubbered in yet, the track, so we're also gonna have increasing speeds with further into the qualifying. And as we go with Oscar here onto one of his laps, he's coming up to the first corner and hopefully he won't get disturbed by the traffic in front. Taking the first two, Apex is very nice.
Already a 10th up on his first lap.
As he's coming up to the small uphill here, it seems like the traffic is slowly coming up on the traffic in front. Hopefully he'll be far enough back not to get any issues on the lap itself though. Coming up to the corkscrew now, as we had one car off the road.
I believe that was Kilgore Trout.
So Kilgore off his lap, as we hear some wheel spin coming out of the corkscrew. Very easy to do and very easy to bottom out here after. I heard some of the drivers discussing earlier they had some problems right after the corkscrew as well, so it's not the corkscrew only by itself. Oh, as Oscar comes into the pit here.
And we should just mention the pit entrance is a really tricky one. Just get a bit too late on your brakes and you're gonna remove your front wing from the car.
So, who else do we have out on track right now? I do not see Urma out there yet. I'm waiting for him to put a lap in. On board with Hughes, who's just started a new lap here.
Just
Coming
come out of
up
turn
on
4.
Yeah. Into turn 5. I know turn 5 can be very tricky because it's not directly on camber. It's not off camber, but it's not directly on either. So from own experience, it's easy to slip and slide if you don't hit it on the right spot.
And if you're in the corner, it looks like it's opening up, but then it gets a lot more stricter later on.
Into the corkscrew here, with some traffic in front as well, some wheel spin there. It just seems like it's very difficult to get that corkscrew right. Into the finishing parts of the lap now. Do we have any guesses? He also comes into the pit. And as you mentioned before, Wolf, we can see that it's a very tricky pit entrance. I believe there will be a lot of time gained and lost if they have to pit.
Wouldn't surprise me seeing in the race someone putting it up in the wall there.
Yeah, no, you're right. I know the last corner itself is tricky. They should not have to pit though, if I'm correct. So there should probably not be too many issues in there. But if someone has issues already and has to pit, it will be a very difficult entry. As we will go on board with correction, we will go to Arto, who is in the middle of his lap here, onto corner 6 and onto the Rahal straight towards the corner. So far he hasn't set a super solid lap, but as I believe he is up on his current lap, sorry, correction, he's down from my numbers. And as he come up, he also puts back into the pits.
Seems to be like the track hasn't found its full grip yet, with fastest lap time still at 1:14.4.
Maybe the temperature is also off from what we've seen before. You never know.
Coker a bit of wheel spin on the exit of the final corner. Goes P11 with a 1:16.3. Bit of a lockup in. Oh, a massive oversteer out of the corner.
And that's, if that was a hot lap, that is ruin. He might possibly be disturbed by the guy exiting the pits there. As we will go on with Tim, about to set a lap here. Or start one, I am not fully sure of that yet. Tim sets a lap of 1:15.3, jumping up to 9th position. And he seems to be going on to a second lap. Bit of traffic behind though, we'll see how we deal with that.
Ooh, wide on the entry of the corner and just can't get it steered in.
As we're with Potapenko coming up on corner 6 as well, under the with a very very nice blue livery. It comes good exit on the corner up towards the corkscrew. as they seem to take it a bit carefully into the corkscrew, but go wide on the second corner there. And that is the lap ruined for him. I suspect in the race the corkscrew will be one of the biggest dangers for the drivers.
Might also be an opportunity.
And as Patapenko comes over, he's still completing his lap, going again. He did improve from a 115.3 up into 8th position, even though that mistake in the corkscrew.
As Tommy Tanta goes P2 with a 114.5.
As Oscar is soon also, as we're with Oscar here, we're gonna see him come up setting a lap 2, and it seems like he's on a very fast lap. Currently he's up by 4 tenths, almost 5 tenths there. As he comes out to the start-finish straight, we will see Oscar setting a very quick lap here, probably setting the pace for the race now. 113.7.
Really seems like the track is gaining some grip right now.
Yeah, that's right, and it's nice to see Oscar, who is back, as we mentioned before, first time this season from a long, having a good pace, so he'll probably startle the championship a little bit. Championship, sorry.
With just 3 minutes of qualifying left.
As I see that Oscar is actually up another 10th on his current lap, so he might be setting a real back. As we got the information that Urmas is banned from qualifying this race, so he will be starting in the back. Hopefully we'll see him gain a lot of positions, doing a lot of overtakes this race from what we've seen earlier.
Oscar Williams up by 1.5 tenths out of turn 10.
Oscar really setting the pace here now.
Up another 10.
Over the finish line on a 113.6. What do you say, Wolf? Will Oscar contend with Urmas? Do you think Urmas will be able to make it up to Oscar's position, up in the fight of the podium?
It's going to be a challenge for Urmas to fight his way up the field. As we are on board with
who's just off the start of a lap here.
Up by 2 tenths already.
Japu keeps showing persistent in pace. From what I've seen, he starts a bit slower, but as we get into the race, he usually finds his pace. Onto the Rahal straight here. He seemed to bog down a little bit coming out of the corner. Into the corkscrew, and he seems to get
used go into P3 by 7 tenths.
Yeah, it seems like the field overall is very close together, except Oscar pulling that half a second. But we will see Yap, if he doesn't make a mistake here in the last corner. He's up by 5 tenths, so he will also be jumping up there into the middle of the field.
As he goes P2. Still separated by half a second.
Oscar just showing dominance. Hopefully that'll be a good contender further in the season as well for Urmas, as Urmas has been blowing away previous this season. He seems to just have this. Jap seems to have this track dammed down, as Artu has also made a very quick lap up into 2nd position, so they're getting closer, but still 3 tenths to the top there.
Oh, a little bit deep on the inside, and there's lost the front. There's still 30 seconds remaining, you might be able to set up another lap.
And
final corner. You gotta have a good exit there to put up a good lap.
we see R2 here coming into the corkscrew, sliding a bit, but gained a lot of time still up on one tenth, more than a tenth here, coming on to the last few corners. So he will inch a bit closer with only a tenth, maybe two,
A little
to
bit deep on the
Oscar.
last corner and oversteer.
Still up 2 tenths there. He still gained time in the last corner, and he will be up with only a tenth to Oscar. So hopefully we'll see a nice battle in the lead there in the start of the race.
As Yap is already up a tenth again. Going
And
into the corkscrew now.
Juice jump up to third place as well on the 130, but
As he overcooks the braking though, he goes too wide and loses a lot of time.
it does not seem like Yap will improve. Maybe he will take a spot up into third position if he keeps this up. Much more than that. So it seems like he will jump up into third, and that is probably one of the last laps we will see here soon. A few guys still out on track. Not anyone seeming to improve too much.
Nick Wu up by 3 tenths in his fastest. And Fisher pulling into the pits.
So that is it for qualifying. So for qualifying, we had Oscar in front with a 113.4, followed by Artu with just a tenth, almost 2 tenths there. And the whole field itself is close. We have Jaap, Clank, Martin van der Lind, Nick Wu, Sami Tantu, Maximilian. Coming down to 9th position, we have Janis van der G. Sorry for the pronunciations. 10th, Potapenko. 11th, Tim, Kilgore, Trout, and last, Nils in 13th position. As we come on to the constructors standing, which is a close fight. You go ahead, Wolf.
Mercedes Autosport up by 2 points, closely followed by In-Forward Racing. And then in third place, Furman Racing Team. They seem to be pulling ahead from the last few races with the win and the second position in Algarve.
Yeah, I do not seem to be able to get the correct standings, I'm sorry.
And followed by Mercedes Toro Rosso with 203 points. And quite a bit of gap of 30 points to a multinational corporate conglomerate with Paul Maxire as his lead driver. As we're lining up for the race, only 30 seconds before start.
And you go ahead, Wolf. I still can't find the right ones.
So, pole position, Oscar Williams, solid race lap. Arthur Neiman, P2.
As we're up to the start of the race here, 2 red lights, 3, 4, 5, and 6 red lights, and off we go for the 7th race of the season, the Laguna Seca F3 Championship. And it seems to be a good start by both R2 and Yap, as it seems Oscar has struggled a bit in the start.
So Arthur tries to go around the outside, just can't find the exit though. He'll try to look on the inside for the next corner, but he can't follow.
As Oscar now slots in the lead, we see a little look of the drivers behind. They tried to peek up, but it seems like Oscar's already pulling a little bit of a gap here.
Yep, already looking for that P2, a bit of clean air.
As we have a lot of changes, we see Urma already up in 8th position from the start. So Urma is already pushing strong, trying to fight his way back up to the field.
Coming next to Maximum Muhlinger out of the corner. Great exit. No needs to turn it on the braking as Maxi goes to the inside.
Oh, that was very
Dangerous
close.
move.
Very nice, very close, but they all kept it clean, which is very nice. Jumping back up to the top, Oscar already has pulled a gap of half a second in just one lap, showing pure
Urmas
dominance.
goes a bit wide and Maxi goes past them again. And Urmas has massive oversteer coming out of the last corner as well.
Urmas there losing almost half a second with that mistake. Jumping over to Nick, which is currently the closest battle we will see on the field, but it seems like the whole field is now slotted in, and it seems like they just try to get to the first few laps here.
Nick again with a bit of oversteer coming out of turn 3.
As we have Tim into the pits, probably with some damage. So Tim into the pits.
Urmas falling quite a bit behind Maxi right now.
As on the first lap we have Oscar. Sorry. Oscar here coming up, finishing with a pretty palm dominant. From my perspective, he's probably gonna pull